Isabelle Carter was meant to be invisible, cast aside, while her family basked in wealth and lies. But tonight, at her sister's lavish engagement party, she walks in not as a guest, but as the storm, with secrets loaded like ammunition and a past they tried to erase. She's about to flip their perfect world upside down. What happens when the forgotten daughter becomes the one holding all the power? Let's find out. Thanks for sharing the story, Anne Ban. Here's part 1 of your story, around 1,000 words, carefully broken at a natural scene shift. I've smoothed the language gently while preserving the full plot, tone, and rhythm, exactly how you need it. For what reasons is this failure? This is where you may hear my mom's voice cutting across the lavish ballroom like a razor's edge, intentional, sharp, and crafted to sting. Her words ripple through the champagne-soaked air, entwined with the whispers that follow the clink of delicate glasses. Even the eyewear is still, as if suspended in judgment. Eyeballs mid-air swivel toward her voice, catching the fury on her face as it rolls across the room. My younger sibling, Sophia, crosses her arms, pouts her lips, and kisses the air like she's starring in a drama only she believes in. She's not inviting me in, she never was. So I smirk. Mom raises her voice louder, using it like a megaphone to launch secret messages across the ballroom. My dad, Gregory Carter, flinches. He avoids looking at me, gripping his drink like it's the only solid thing in this room. I'd anticipated this. I came prepared. I approach slowly, my heels tapping the marble with precision. Each step is deliberate, each vibration from the floor like a countdown to what's about to unfold. This place, the luxurious Bellevue Hotel, is a shrine to excess. People are here to enjoy the splendor, not to see what's been hidden. But tonight, I'm not just showing up. I'm showing them who owns this truth. I feel anxiety bubbling just below the surface, brushing up against the silk skirts of a crowd that doesn't yet know what's coming. The way they hold their glasses, now the subtle tilt, the glances they're picking up on the tension. But I saw it first. The first crack didn't come from Mom. It came from Sophia's relationship with Ryan Sterling, her fiancé. His smirk disappears the moment he sees me. His body goes rigid, fingers clench, breath stops. It's like he's seen a ghost. I let the silence stretch. Then I speak calm, composed, in full control. My words, though quiet, command the room. Are you truly oblivious to what's happening? Everything shifts. Silk whispers on the floor. A few people break off from their conversations. My mom grips her glass tighter. Sophia's expression falters just for a second. But that second is enough. That doubt, it shows. And I smile. Slowly, deliberately, like a blade sliding from its sheath. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Isabelle Carter. Their perfect little fantasy starts to crumble, but I'm already remembering how the cold used to seep into my bones, immobilizing my fingers. That night wasn't just cold, it was cruel. Dad stood alone at the front of our grand mansion, his hug gone, his arms folded. Behind him, Mom Margaret sipped wine like I was a ghost. She never looked at me. Then came Sophia, the golden child. She got the warmth I never did. She smiled like it was all just some inconvenience, like I was an interruption. I wanted to scream, to fight, to beg for what was mine. Instead, I watched. Dad's voice was like ice. You've grown up. You'll figure it out. Then the door slammed, sealing their choice. I stood frozen, waiting, hoping someone would open it again. No one ever did. Wind whipped through the empty street. I clutched my coat. My world had just collapsed, leaving me with $17.28 in my pocket, the clothes on my back, the city's cold concrete. On the third night, I slept next to a kitchen incinerator just to stay warm. My stomach ached from hunger, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. On the fourth morning, someone found me. Her name was Rita Dawson. She was stern but kind, with eyes that didn't miss much. She looked at me and simply said, "You could always find a way to contribute." Then she tossed a broom at my feet. It was my first time cleaning floors, washing dishes, pulling double shifts. But I did it without complaint. Rita let me sleep on a cot in the storage room. For a month, I saved everything I could. Eventually, I had enough to enroll in community college. It wasn't easy, but I pushed through. I left at 21 with a full scholarship, interned at a big company by 23, launched my own medical nutrition startup by 27. People admired the brand, the work, me, but no one knew the name Carter. I never needed Sophia to fail to rise. I only needed her not to stand in my way. And now here she is, at her engagement party, chin raised like she's untouchable. The golden child in full glow. She lets out a laugh, mocking, theatrical, meant to humiliate. "Isabelle, I swear, you just had to make a scene, didn't you?" Her voice drips with disdain. "You barely made it through school, and now you're here trying to wreck my wedding?" I stay still, measured, calm. "Oh, I think. So they told you." For the first time, I notice hesitation in her eyes. I meet her gaze and gently pull out a neatly folded piece of paper. I open it slowly, letting the silence stretch, allowing the tension to coil. Ryan sees it. He stiffens again, reading line by line. The color drains from his face. "What is this?" he whispers. Sophia edges closer, jaw clenched. "You're kidding me. That's fake." But Ryan doesn't move, because the paper shows she never graduated. No medical degree, no credentials. A web of lies exposed right here, in front of their champagne-sipping guests. His jaw tightens. His fingers twitch. He doesn't need to ask, he already knows. No matter how cold the world becomes, quiet strength and patience can be more powerful than the loudest betrayal. Sophia lets out a laugh, not from joy, but from disbelief. It's brittle, a hollow sound meant to cover her panic. She tilts her head, pretending it's all some kind of joke. "That's the best you've got?" she scoffs. "Forged paperwork on my wedding day?" She shakes her head and smiles, an empty, polished smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "I should be flattered, Isabelle. I guess envy really does make people do crazy things." She gestures around the room as if to say, "Look at all this. Look what I have. Look what you'll never have." And for a moment, the crowd almost believes her. She has always known how to perform. I stay quiet, watching her. Then I lean in just slightly and whisper, "Why are you so nervous then?" Ryan hears it too. His eyes flick to me, then back to Sophia, then down at the page still trembling in his hands. His voice is quiet, but firm. "Sophia, this is your academic record." Her denial is instant. "No, it's not." She's lying, but her voice wavers. Just enough. Ryan studies her again, and something shifts. Doubt. A quiet unraveling. The crowd leans in. "Seriously, Ryan? You're actually buying into this?" Sophia snaps. "You know how manipulative she is. She's always made up stories." But Ryan doesn't say a word. His grip tightens on the paper. Then the air changes again. It sharpens, like a knife. Margaret steps forward. She's calm, calculated, like always. Her voice slices through the room. "Enough. This is ridiculous. I will not let you ruin your sister's wedding with these delusions." But I can see the flicker behind her eyes. She knows what's coming. I smile at her. "Margaret," I say clearly, "you should know better than anyone. I never accuse without proof." Her jaw stiffens. I turn toward the crowd and raise my voice slightly, not loud, but enough. "Let's talk about something truly interesting, like financial fraud. That stops everyone." My father, Gregory Carter, freezes. The color drains from his face. The man who once stood tall at the helm of the Carter family, now looks like he might buckle under the weight of what's about to land. I pull out a black USB drive from my clutch. It's small, polished, but the power it holds? Tremendous. I twirl it gently between my fingers. This, I say, holds documents, emails, statements, all tracing back to the Carter family clinic. The fraud, the stolen insurance money, the false medical records. Margaret's grip tightens around her champagne flute. Around us, the murmurs start up again, only louder now. Guests glance at one another, whisper, the kind of whispers that end reputations. Gregory's voice cracks through the noise. That's absurd. His words are forced, desperate. You're confused, delusional. I lower my voice, just enough that the tension wraps around us like a cord. You didn't think anyone would ever find out, did you? He flinches, that same flinch I remember from childhood. When the truth got too close, Dr. Manning, the clinic's co-founder, stares at Gregory with growing horror. The trust is breaking right in front of everyone. You vouched for her, Dr. Manning says to Gregory, voice shaking. You said Sophia had the credentials, the degree. Margaret's expression is carefully neutral. She's been trained for this, trained to survive scandal, but I see it. The lie is too heavy now. It's pulling her down. She never even finished her coursework, Dr. Manning adds, almost to himself. I asked for transcripts. She never sent anything. Ryan is still staring at the paper, his knuckles white, his breath shallow. Then, quietly, he exhales and turns to Sophia. Tell me this isn't true. She won't look at him. She crosses her arms like a child. Tell me, he repeats, softer this time, that this isn't true. But she can't. Ryan's voice cracks. I trusted you. He looks down at the engagement ring on his finger. Then slowly, deliberately, he pulls it off. He tosses it. The ring lands with a sharp clink on the marble floor. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Sophia lunges forward, crying out, grabbing at his arm. Please, wait. But Ryan steps back. His face hardens. Margaret, for the first time, looks truly shaken. Ryan, she pleads, don't let one mistake ruin this. You and Sophia are meant to be. His gaze cuts through her. One mistake? It wasn't one. It was all of it. Her voice rises too shrill, too emotional. She's losing control. She's just trying to destroy us. Isabelle was always jealous. He doesn't respond. He just looks at me. His eyes soften, just slightly, like he sees something now he didn't before. A truth. A life beyond the performance. Margaret turns to the crowd again. She's lying. All of this, it's fabricated. I open my clutch again. This time, I pull out a second USB, and I smile. Not smug, not cruel, just tired, resolved. This one, I say gently, contains tax records, 10 years worth, filed under my name. The room goes still. I didn't file them. Gregory's jaw drops. Margaret lets out a gasp. Whispers turn into murmurs. Murmurs into full-blown speculation. Sophia's face crumples. Gregory tries to speak. His voice shakes. That's not true, but no one's listening to him anymore. I raise the drive a little higher. You stole my identity, filed taxes in my name, committed fraud under my credentials while I was sleeping in alleyways. There's nowhere for them to run now, no door to shut in my face. The truth is out. Lies may glitter for a while, but truth always finds its way to the surface, especially when you rise with quiet strength and undeniable proof. Have you ever been underestimated only to come back stronger? Tell us your story in the comments. Gregory's eyes dart toward Dr. Manning, who now looks more betrayed than stunned. The weight of it all finally hits Gregory. His mouth opens, but he can't form a word. Margaret, always the strategist, regains just enough composure to throw out one last plea. You're twisting things, Isabelle. You've always wanted attention. I smile calmly. but there's steel behind it. No, Margaret. What I always wanted was acknowledgement and justice. The murmuring crowd draws back slightly as I step forward. Gregory reaches out, perhaps to stop me, but security is already approaching. They've picked up the scent of scandal. They move quickly, silently, authority in motion. It's clear now. The mighty Carters are no longer untouchable. They're unraveling. Dr. Manning speaks up again, this time to someone just out of view. Get the state medical board on the phone. That's the final crack. Gregory's body tenses as if he's been physically struck. His voice rises not with dignity, but desperation. You think you're better than us? He bellows. I meet his eyes squarely, tilting my head ever so slightly. No, I say gently. I just stopped letting you convince me I was worse. My voice is steady, calm, unshaken. That unsettles him more than any scream could. Margaret stumbles back toward the table, one hand braced against the surface for balance. Her flawless veneer is finally crumbling. Guests begin to step away not in sympathy, but in scrutiny, in shame. The Carters have become the spectacle, the warning. Sophia is now on her knees. Her once perfect white gown pools around her, like the ruins of a fantasy she can no longer hold together. Her mascara-streaked tears drip onto the marble floor. Landing next to the engagement ring, Ryan threw aside. Her voice is faint, cracked. Ryan, please. But Ryan doesn't move. He watches from a distance, his expression unreadable. Sophia sobs harder, grabbing at the skirt of her dress, rocking slightly as if to soothe herself. The room continues to shift. Security escorts Gregory and Margaret out, guiding them through whispers and judgmental glances. They pass guests who once adored them, now turning away with furrowed brows and narrowed eyes. Once the center of power, they now leave like criminals exposed at a masquerade ball. Dr. Manning is already taking phone calls. Yes, Gregory Carter. Immediate suspension. Contact the IRS. I don't flinch. I simply breathe. Long, deep breaths. Their money, their names, their carefully crafted kingdom crumbling like ash in the wind. Sophia, still on her knees, sobs louder, barely audible above the murmurs. The sparkle of her engagement ring remains on the ground cold, unclaimed, just like I had been all those years ago. The light from the chandelier casts a glow across the room. The marble, once pristine, now reflects the aftermath-smeared makeup. A dropped bouquet, heels abandoned in a corner. Sophia's sobs echo softly, mixing with the whispers of disbelief that fill the ballroom. I glance back at her only once, not out of pity, not from nostalgia, but because she looked the same way I once did, forsaken and broken. And this time, no one would step in for her. Security gently clears the room. The guests move toward the exits, talking in hushed voices, their eyes flicking back toward me, toward Sophia, toward the shattered illusion they just witnessed fall apart. This was supposed to be their grand affair, a triumph. Instead, it's an ending, a reckoning. The Carters once feared, admired, are now reduced to whispers and warnings. My heels click against the marble floor as I begin to walk away. Behind me, the ruined remnants of their legacy lie in silence. Outside, the night air greets me like an old friend, cool, honest, and unburdened. For the first time in a very long time, I feel light. Nathan is waiting at the curb. He doesn't say anything at first, just watches me as I approach. His dark eyes search mine not with suspicion, but quiet understanding. He once asked me if I was okay. I hadn't known how to answer then. Now, I nod slightly. He frowns just a little, lips pressing into a soft line. There's a tremble in his chin, just the faintest sign of emotion. And when I blink, I feel something unexpected bubbling up. Laughter. It rises slowly, then bursts out free. Genuine, unrestrained, a sound I hadn't made in years. Nathan chuckles softly in return. Then he opens the car door and says, "Let's get cake." That's when it hits me. This was never about revenge. It was about liberation. And finally, I was free. True freedom doesn't come from tearing others down. It comes from reclaiming your worth and walking away with your dignity intact. In life, we often teach our children to be strong, to speak up, and to stand tall in the face of injustice. But what we don't always talk about is how long the road to that strength can be, especially when it's our own family we're standing against. Isabelle's story is not just about betrayal or revenge. It's about reclaiming one's voice after years of being silenced. It's about surviving abandonment, lies, and rejection and rising with grace, not bitterness. Many of us know what it feels like to be overlooked by those we once trusted the most. But healing doesn't come from shouting back or getting even. It comes from standing firmly in your truth, even if your voice shakes, and choosing not to carry the weight of their shame any longer. Isabelle reminded us that you don't need to be cruel to be powerful. You can walk away with dignity, knowing the truth is on your side. For those who've been dismissed, underestimated, or left behind, your story isn't over, and your peace is still possible. Have you ever had to walk away from someone to finally find yourself? Share your moment of strength in the comments below.